Good day, viewers. Welcome back to the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio. That is I, where the good life is guided by reason, informed by science, and motivated by human love, compassion, and empathy. I'm out here at a park this morning here in South Austin. If you hear some dogs and people around, it's because I'm outside on this beautiful morning. As you can see, I will attempt to be focused on this camera and not talk to people, which I like to do with my amiable, diplomatic humanism. Let's discuss healthy-minded humanism. There are 5 characteristics of a healthy-minded, emotionally secure individual. Humanism, as I talk about often, is not only a progressive philosophy of life that affirms our ability and responsibility to lead ethical, moral lives for personal fulfillment, but also for the well-being of all. The key there is development and personal fulfillment. We promote in this worldview of humanism a more fully developed life. And for the people out there that want to become better people all around, for yourself, number one, and also for others to make the world better, this is a good message for you. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. So let's talk about the 5 characteristics of a healthy-minded, emotionally secure person. Number one, that type person is a trusting person. They give others the benefit of the doubt, rather than what we hear often, what I hear often from people: trust no one. I don't trust anybody else. Why would they say that? Well, they've been offended, they've been hurt. I understand that. We all have our stories and journeys, but there is a way to get healed up from that. I was at the grocery store the other day, obviously with my mask, and behind me I noticed a lady with a t-shirt, not with the same letters and words I have on my t-shirt, but hers said, "Humans, ugh." I think it was UGH. And I noticed on the back of her t-shirt, it said, "I trust no one, only myself." Now, those are good indicators of someone that's not a very happy person. They're not healthy-minded or emotionally secure. I had a client not long ago who I've trained for many years. The first year of training her was very challenging and difficult because she came from a complete different worldview, fundamentalist Christian, and very politically conservative. She came from a background of 2 failed marriages, and she didn't trust human nature very much. She told me one time, she said, "David, if you ever lie to me, I will never trust you again. I've been hurt a lot by men and by many other people, and I don't really trust people unless you prove it to me." So this person has been hurt a lot, but she can, and many others can, outgrow that. Number 2, confident. A healthy-minded, emotionally secure person is one that exemplifies confidence, not pridefulness. There's a difference. Because true humility is understanding one's own strengths and weaknesses. Compared to Christian piety we read in the Bible. We're not talking about that false humility or that attitude that you can do nothing without a higher power and we're worthless and we're born sinful. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about true confidence, understanding your abilities, your skill sets, and also your many weaknesses. I can say that for myself. I have 2 or 3 things, maybe 4, that I'm very, very good at. I have confidence in these things because of experiential intelligence, lots of knowledge of reading and studying, and living this lifestyle for many, many years. So I do have confidence in a few areas of my life. But then there are other areas of my life I do not have a lot of confidence in, and I'm not very good at. And I depend upon other people and their abilities and skill sets to help me in those areas. Number 3 characteristic of a healthy-minded, emotionally secure person is they're optimistic. They look for the good in other people rather than the little flaws, those little nuances. Now, there are people out there. They will pick the slightest little problem, the slightest little error in your speech, in your writing, in your mannerism. They're always looking for the negative. Now, the old white sheet of paper analogy, right? Take a white sheet of paper, put a couple black dark dots on there. You ask a person that is a pessimistic type person, you ask a person that is eaten up by, like that mosquito, if you're eaten up by cynicism, what do you see when you see that white sheet of paper? That type of person will say, I see a black dot, rather than an optimistic person would say, I see the clean white sheet of paper. I'll steal a quote from one of my favorite authors, Steven Pinker. I am a self-professed, positive, optimistic, cosmopolitan, secular humanist, and I add atheist activist. Number 4 characteristic is you're friendly. I like to call this amiable, diplomatic humanism. Just like I had a little talk with a lady right here a couple seconds before I started doing this show. Talking to her, she asked what the books were for. I have my books out here for my stand. And I told her what I do. I talked to her about her dogs, being friendly and outgoing, making eye contact with people. Now, when you're friendly and amiable, and you're a healthy-minded, emotionally secure, and by the way, I'm not fully developed. I'm on a journey to become more fully developed. I've got a ways to go. But some will misinterpret your friendliness, your outgoingness, your diplomatic nature as either aggression. Some will take it and misinterpret it as flirtation. I don't know how many times, if I've said good morning to a young lady, some would turn their head and not want to make eye contact. I don't know what's going on in that young lady's head. I want to say, young lady, I just said good morning. Some will misinterpret that as aggression, or like Corliss Lamont, one of my favorite philosophers, humanist philosophers of all time, wrote in the wonderful book of The Philosophy of Humanism. He said, when you're out there as a friendly humanist, a non-believer, and you're loving on humanity, some will misinterpret that as there's something wrong with that individual. Maybe he's got a screw loose. Now, I've had that from people too. I remember not long ago, I was out on a hike and I passed a married couple, not much younger than myself. And I looked over and they didn't seem too happy. They were looking down. They didn't want to make eye contact. And I said to them, I said, good morning. And they could not respond to me. He nudged her with his elbow, and I heard him whisper to his wife, don't talk to him. I don't know him. And she said, who is this guy? He goes, don't talk to him. Maybe they thought I was homeless. Maybe they thought I was a threat. I was simply saying, good morning. I get this often on Saturday mornings with my humanist signs when I pass out literature in public free speech zones here in town and other locations. I'll have these angry evangelical type Christians. When I just simply say good morning and I smile, I'll get a lot of hate talk. I had one last weekend yell at me, don't talk to me. I don't want anything to do with you. And all I said was good morning. Now, one more characteristic of a healthy-minded, emotionally secure person would be they're open-minded. They're objective thinkers. Isn't that how many of us came to our non-belief in the supernatural as atheists or agnostics? Sure, we examined both sides. We did research, we read, we came to a conclusion. There's no evidence for this. We all have our stories. We must remain open-minded, hear others, test it to see maybe they're on to something. We must be diplomatic. We must have checks and balances. So healthy-minded, emotionally secure people continue to change. They're open-minded. They listen to others. It doesn't mean you have to agree, but we're not closed-minded. So we in secular humanism do promote a more fully developed human being. And if you are into this, if this clicks and resonates with you, then you found your life stance, your worldview of secular humanism. So let's go ahead and mature and grow and become better people. And then it'll make you happier. And then you can reach out to a world of many hurt and lonely people that are not emotionally secure or healthy-minded. And we can help other people. And yes, I know it sounds Christian. That's the good part of church. All the primitive religions, all the worldviews and philosophies that predated Christianity, and even contemporary humanism, we all want to make the world better. The difference is, where's that source of goodness? Where does it derive from? We say it's from the human animal nature. They say it's from that. So let's make the world better, and let's become a happier, more developed group of people. So thank you so much for watching The Preaching Humanist. And remember to let the light and the compassion of secular humanism shine. Have a wonderful day.